My beloved brothers and sisters in Christ, there are moments in time when heaven leans closer to earth, when God begins to whisper urgently to his people. I believe with all my heart, this is one of those moments. Before this month ends, before March passes away, God is calling you to wake up spiritually. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. There is a strong sense of urgency in the call to return to God, especially as time is passing quickly and moments are not guaranteed. Many people assume they have plenty of time to fix their spiritual life, to pray more, to reconnect with God, or to change their habits. But this mindset often leads to delay and spiritual distance. The truth is, every passing day is an opportunity either to grow closer to God or drift further away. This is why the message emphasizes acting now, not later. A delayed response can result in missed blessings, lost direction, and continued struggles that could have been avoided through obedience and surrender. Returning to God wholeheartedly means more than occasional prayer or surface-level faith. It is about a deep, intentional decision to seek Him with sincerity, humility, and commitment. Many people live in a state of partial devotion. They believe in God, but their actions, priorities, and focus are divided. Their attention is consumed by worries, distractions, worldly desires, or personal ambitions, leaving little room for genuine connection with God. This kind of half-hearted approach weakens spiritual strength and makes it harder to hear God's voice clearly. A full return to God requires honesty with oneself. It means recognizing areas of weakness, sin, or neglect and choosing to change. This may involve letting go of habits that pull you away from your faith, distancing yourself from negative influences, or correcting attitudes such as pride, bitterness, or unforgiveness. These things create barriers between a person and God, blocking spiritual growth and peace. When you remove these obstacles, your relationship with God becomes stronger and more meaningful. Another important aspect is consistency. Returning to God is not a one-time emotional decision, but a daily commitment. It involves regular prayer, reading and reflecting on Scripture, and maintaining a mindset that seeks God's guidance in every situation. Consistency builds spiritual discipline, and discipline strengthens faith over time. When you are consistent, you become more sensitive to God's direction and more confident in His promises. The urgency also comes from the understanding that God responds to those who draw near to Him. When you take a step toward God, He responds with grace, guidance, and presence. This is a powerful principle. God is always ready, but He waits for your willingness. Many people are waiting for God to move first, while God is waiting for them to make the first move. This misunderstanding keeps them stuck in the same situation. The moment you decide to return fully, things begin to shift, even if you cannot see it immediately. Distractions are one of the biggest reasons people fail to respond to this call. Life is full of noise, social media, work pressure, relationships, and endless responsibilities. These things are not necessarily wrong, but when they take priority over your spiritual life, they slowly pull you away from God. Recognizing and controlling these distractions is essential if you want to grow spiritually. Creating time for silence, prayer, and reflection allows you to reconnect and realign your focus. Ultimately, this message is a reminder that time is valuable and limited. The end of a month may seem like a small marker, but it symbolizes how quickly life moves. It encourages you to evaluate where you stand spiritually and make a conscious decision to change direction if needed. Returning to God now can bring peace, clarity, and strength that transforms every area of your life. It is not about fear, but about opportunity. The opportunity to realign, to restore your faith, and to experience a deeper connection with God before more time slips away. It is often in the quiet and unseen moments that the most significant work is being done, and this is especially true when it comes to how God operates. Many people become discouraged because they expect visible, immediate results when they pray, believe, or wait for change. When nothing seems to happen on the surface, they begin to question whether God is listening or if anything is truly changing. However, what appears to be silence or delay is often a season of preparation. God is not inactive. He is working behind the scenes in ways that human understanding cannot fully grasp. There are processes taking place that are beyond natural perception. Just as a seed grows underground before it ever breaks through the soil, God is arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, and preparing outcomes long before they become visible. If a seed were dug up every day to check its progress, it would never grow. In the same way, constantly doubting or losing faith interrupts spiritual growth and delays the manifestation of what is already in motion. Trust requires patience, and patience allows God's work to unfold in its proper time. One reason God works this way is to build faith and character. If everything happened instantly, there would be little room for growth, trust, or dependence on Him. The waiting period strengthens inner resilience and deepens belief. It teaches endurance and helps individuals develop a stronger spiritual foundation. During this time, even though nothing seems to change externally, something important is changing internally. Your mindset, your attitude, and your level of trust are being refined. Another important aspect of this unseen work is that God often handles things you are not even aware of. There may be obstacles being removed, dangers being prevented, or situations being adjusted in your favor without your knowledge. What feels like a delay could actually be protection or redirection. Sometimes what you are asking for is not yet ready, or you are not yet in the position to receive it fully. God's timing ensures that when the answer comes, it will be right, complete, and beneficial rather than premature and harmful. This understanding changes how you respond to difficult seasons. Instead of becoming frustrated or giving up, you begin to trust that there is purpose in the waiting. You learn to remain steady, even when emotions fluctuate. Faith becomes less about what you see and more about what you believe. This shift in perspective is powerful because it keeps you grounded during uncertainty and prevents you from making decisions based on temporary feelings. It is also important to continue taking positive steps while trusting God's unseen work. Faith does not mean passivity. It means moving forward with confidence, even when the outcome is not yet visible. Continue praying, continue improving yourself, and continue making wise choices. These actions align you with what God is already doing behind the scenes and position you to receive the results when they appear. Doubt is one of the biggest challenges during this process. When results are not immediate, the mind starts to question everything. This is where discipline is required, to choose belief over doubt, even when it is difficult. Reminding yourself of past experiences where things eventually worked out can strengthen your confidence. Looking back often reveals that what once seemed like a delay was actually part of a bigger, better outcome. In the end, understanding that God is always working, even when you cannot see it, brings peace. It removes the pressure of trying to control everything and replaces it with trust. You realize that not everything depends on your effort alone. There is a greater plan unfolding. What is hidden now will eventually become visible, and when it does, it will make sense why things had to happen the way they did. This perspective allows you to remain hopeful, patient, and strong, knowing that something meaningful is already in progress beneath the surface. Faith is often tested the most during difficult and uncertain seasons, and it is in these moments that its true strength is revealed. When everything is going well, it is easy to believe, to stay positive, and to feel confident about the future. However, when challenges arise, when prayers seem unanswered, when doors remain closed, and when life feels overwhelming, that is when faith becomes a deliberate choice rather than a natural response. Holding on during these times is not easy, but it is essential because trials are not meaningless. They are part of a process that leads to growth and eventual breakthrough. Difficulties often create pressure, and that pressure can either break a person or strengthen them. The difference lies in how one responds. If you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to take control, you may feel defeated and give up too soon. But if you choose to trust, even when it does not make sense, you begin to develop resilience. This resilience is what carries you through the storm and prepares you for what lies ahead. It is like building a muscle. The resistance is uncomfortable, but it is necessary for strength. One important truth is that trials often come before significant change. Many people see struggles as a sign that something is going wrong, but in reality, it can be a sign that something is about to shift. Growth rarely happens in comfort. Just as gold is refined in fire, a person's character and faith are refined through challenges. These moments reveal weaknesses that need to be addressed and strengths that need to be developed. Without trials, there would be no transformation. Another key aspect is persistence. Breakthrough does not always happen immediately. It often requires consistency and endurance. There are times when you may feel like quitting because the progress is slow or invisible. In those moments, it is important to remember that giving up stops the process entirely, while continuing keeps you moving forward, even if the steps are small. Every effort, every prayer, and every act of faith contributes to the final outcome, even if you cannot see the results right away. It is also important to understand that your mindset during trials plays a crucial role. If you constantly focus on the problem, it will seem bigger and more overwhelming. But if you shift your focus toward hope, possibility, and trust, your perspective changes. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing not to be controlled by it. A positive, faith-filled mindset allows you to see beyond the current situation and believe that something better is ahead. Support systems can also make a difference during challenging times. Encouragement from others, whether through words, presence, or shared experiences, can help you stay strong when your own strength feels limited. At the same time, personal responsibility is important. You cannot rely entirely on others. You must also develop your own inner strength and determination. This balance helps you remain steady, even when external support is not always available. There is also a deeper purpose behind enduring trials with faith. It builds confidence not only in yourself, but also in your ability to handle future challenges. When you come through a difficult situation, you gain experience and wisdom that cannot be taught in any other way. You begin to realize that you are capable of more than you once believed. This confidence becomes a foundation for facing future obstacles with greater courage. In the end, staying faithful during trials leads to a breakthrough that is both external and internal. Externally, circumstances may change, opportunities may appear, and problems may be resolved. Internally, you become stronger, wiser, and more grounded. The journey itself transforms you, making the breakthrough even more meaningful. What once felt like a burden becomes a testimony of endurance and growth. This is why it is so important to keep going, even when it is hard, because the process you are in is leading somewhere valuable, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Alignment and obedience are deeply connected to the flow of blessings in a person's life, yet they are often misunderstood or overlooked. Many people desire positive change, favor, and open doors, but they do not always recognize the role their own choices and attitudes play in positioning themselves for those outcomes. Alignment with God is not just about belief. It is about bringing your thoughts, actions, and intentions into harmony with His will. Obedience is the practical expression of that alignment. It is choosing to do what is right, even when it is difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. One of the biggest barriers to alignment is the condition of the heart. Feelings such as bitterness, resentment, jealousy, and unforgiveness can quietly build up over time and create distance between a person and God. These emotions may feel justified, especially if someone has been hurt or treated unfairly, but holding on to them only causes more harm internally. They act like weights that slow down spiritual growth and block peace. Letting go is not about denying what happened. It is about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying it. When you release these negative emotions, you create space for healing, clarity, and renewed strength. Obedience often requires trust, especially when the path ahead is unclear. There are moments when you may feel guided to make a decision that does not immediately make sense, whether it is stepping away from a situation, changing direction, or doing something that challenges your comfort zone. In these moments, obedience becomes a test of faith. It is easy to follow instructions when the outcome is visible and guaranteed, but true obedience is demonstrated when you move forward without having all the answers. This kind of trust builds a stronger connection with God and opens the door for unexpected opportunities. Another important aspect is consistency in doing what is right. Alignment is not achieved through occasional good decisions. It is built through daily choices. Small actions, repeated over time, shape your character and direction. Choosing honesty, patience, kindness, and discipline may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create a strong foundation that supports long-term growth and success. When your life is built on consistent, positive actions, you naturally become more aligned, and this alignment brings stability and confidence. There is also a principle of cause and effect at work. When you act in alignment with what is right, you position yourself to experience better outcomes. This does not mean life becomes perfect or free of challenges, but it does mean you are better equipped to handle difficulties and recognize opportunities when they come. Doors often open for those who are prepared, disciplined, and focused. Alignment helps you become that kind of person. Letting go of control is another part of obedience. Many people struggle because they want to manage every detail of their lives, ensuring everything happens according to their own plans. However, true alignment requires surrender, the willingness to accept that you do not have complete control and that there is a greater plan at work. This surrender is not weakness. It is a form of strength that allows you to trust beyond your own understanding. When you stop forcing things and start trusting the process, you often find that things fall into place more naturally. Obedience also sharpens your awareness. When you consistently choose to follow what is right, you become more sensitive to guidance and direction. You begin to notice subtle changes, opportunities, and signals that you might have ignored before. This awareness helps you make better decisions and avoid unnecessary mistakes. It creates a sense of clarity that reduces confusion and hesitation. In the end, alignment and obedience are not about restriction. They are about positioning. They place you in a state where you are ready to receive, ready to grow, and ready to move forward. The process may require sacrifice, patience, and discipline, but the results are worth it. You gain peace of mind, stronger character, and a clearer sense of direction. Over time, you begin to see how each decision, each act of obedience, and each moment of surrender contributes to a bigger picture, one where doors open at the right time, opportunities appear when you are prepared, and life moves with a sense of purpose rather than confusion. The idea of a divine shift carries a sense of hope and expectation, especially for those who have been waiting for change for a long time. Life can sometimes feel stuck, as if nothing is moving forward despite effort, prayer, or desire for improvement. Days pass, routines repeat, and situations seem unchanged. This can lead to frustration, doubt, and even a sense of helplessness. However, the concept of a shift suggests that change is not always gradual or predictable. Sometimes, transformation happens suddenly, in a way that breaks the pattern and introduces something new and unexpected. A shift does not necessarily mean that everything will instantly become perfect, but it does indicate movement. It is the moment when things begin to turn in a different direction. What was once blocked may start to open, and what felt delayed may begin to progress. This kind of change often feels surprising because it comes after a period of stillness or struggle. It reminds you that even when nothing seemed to be happening, something was building beneath the surface, preparing for the right moment to emerge. One important aspect of this shift is timing. Change does not always happen when you expect it, but when it is most appropriate. There are times when you may feel ready for something, yet the situation around you is not aligned for it to succeed. Waiting during these moments can feel difficult, but it often ensures that when the opportunity finally arrives, it is more stable and meaningful. Timing plays a crucial role in how lasting and impactful the change will be. Another key element is readiness. A shift requires not only external change, but also internal preparation. If your mindset, habits, or perspective are not aligned with the new direction, it can be difficult to sustain progress. This is why periods of waiting often involve personal growth. During this time, you may develop patience, discipline, and a deeper understanding of yourself. These qualities prepare you to handle the changes that are coming. Without this preparation, even a positive shift could become overwhelming or short-lived. Hope is a powerful force during this process. Believing that change is possible keeps you motivated, even when there are no visible signs of progress. It allows you to continue making efforts, improving yourself, and staying open to new opportunities. Without hope, it is easy to fall into negativity and give up before the shift occurs. Maintaining a hopeful outlook does not mean ignoring challenges. It means choosing to believe that those challenges are temporary and that something better is ahead. It is also important to recognize that shifts can come in different forms. Sometimes they are obvious, such as a new opportunity, a solution to a long-standing problem, or a clear change in circumstances. Other times, they are subtle, such as a new perspective, a sense of peace, or a renewed sense of direction. Both types are valuable, and both can lead to meaningful transformation over time. Action plays a role as well. While a shift may feel like something that happens to you, your response to it determines its impact. Being open, adaptable, and willing to take steps forward allows you to fully benefit from the change. If you resist or hesitate, you may miss opportunities that come with the shift. Staying aware and ready helps you move with the change rather than against it. In the end, the idea of a divine shift is a reminder that no situation is permanent. Even when life feels stagnant, change is always possible. The key is to remain patient, prepared, and hopeful. When the shift finally happens, it often brings a sense of clarity and relief, showing that the waiting period had a purpose. What once felt like a delay becomes part of a larger journey, leading to growth, new opportunities, and a renewed sense of direction.